Hello! So today I'm doing my friend Dondre's hair, and I'm starting by parting at the parietal ridge. And I didn't use any clips, I just used water and parted it. I'm starting with the number 4, and I'm taking it just like an inch or so below the part that I created, just so I can leave an edge out because it squares out the haircut instead of taking it all the way up and rounding with the head. It also helps if you make a mistake with blending or you take up a low number too high. It's called the uh-oh area. One of my coworkers showed me that when I was first starting out in my career, and I don't know, I just think it looks a lot better. And in between each step, I like to blow dry their hair off of them because it keeps me clean, keeps them more comfortable. And then I go back around the entire section that I just did and go over it just like I just did and make sure there's no little hair sticking out. Next, I go over clipper over comb and blend in the sides with that ledge I created. I wet the top again and keep it out of the way because I don't want to accidentally cut any of the hair with the clippers. With that ledge I created, that's just to make sure that the haircut stays straight out and square and it doesn't get rounded with the shape of his head because square shapes are more masculine. Before I touch the top, I etch out his neckline and around the ears. His neckline is kind of insane with all these cowlicks and crazy directions that his hair grows. So I always try to ignore the cowlicks and I just make the line and go back and fix if I need to. I don't try to fix anything right away. To get the straightest line possible, I comb with the fine tooth side of my comb in every direction and I cut every little hair that comes out. I'll go over the lining several times because I want it to be perfect. It's arguably the most important step in making the haircut look its best. I go back in with a little bit of clipper over comb to try to combat those cowlicks that are growing in the back. Because when I taper it like this, it makes his haircut last a little bit longer and it looks a little bit nicer while it grows back. For the sideburns, I ask them to point out an idea of where they think that they should go, and I look at their ear and mentally remember on the other ear where the sideburn should go again. Because everyone's ears aren't perfectly symmetric, so I place a finger on each sideburn after I've cut them in and see in the mirror if they're symmetrical or close enough. For the top, I start by parting his hair directly down the middle. And then I take 1/2 inch subsections and I comb them straight out from the part. You can't really see it in this video, but my fingertips are actually pinching that ledge that I had created earlier, and I blended into the sides and the top. So when I cut this straight up, the sides and the top are blended together. If I worded that correctly, I don't know. That didn't sound right when I said it out loud. I go back in reverse and cut the little hairs that stick out. It's kind of like cross-checking, but it's really not. I've just noticed that when I do cross-check later, I don't get nearly as many bumps and valleys as I did when I used to not do this step. And then when I go around to the back and to the crown of his head, I'm taking the hairs directly straight out like a pie section, so it blends the back into the top, and then also the other side too. I go back and clip her over comb and blend what I feel like needs to be touched up a little bit, just because it's not perfect. Like when I do scissors and the clippers, like blending, it doesn't turn out, like it's okay, but it doesn't turn out like the way I want it to, so I just go over it again. For the very last step of the haircut, I take the trimmers down to the back of their neck, and it finishes off their haircut and makes the client happy, because no one wants a hairy neck. Before the wash, I brush the hairs away from his neck and behind his ears and off his shirt. To finish his hair, I just messily blow dried it and added some defining paste from American Crew. He said he usually uses hairspray to his hair, but I'm not a fan of hairspray for many reasons. So I always ask if it's okay for me to try something different. At the very end, I notice he also gets a lining, so I just touch that up real quick. I guess this is all we recorded because I suck at outros. And apparently I keep forgetting to film them. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.